G'day folks, I'm Ted Richardson. Today I'd like to talk to you about the responsible use of AI in agriculture. I hope by the end of this you'll have a greater understanding of what responsible leadership can do to improve an industry and promote responsible stewardship of natural resources. I'm a proud Aboriginal Australian and a Gubbi Gubbi descendant, and I acknowledge the traditional custodians of the Dharawal land on which I live and raise my family. I pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, the traditions and the culture of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. On this great land where I work, live and raise my family, I also run a small family farm where I strive to improve the land and nurture it for the next generation. I am deeply rooted in the land thanks to my ancestors who taught me how to farm, raise and care for livestock, be self-sufficient and mostly how to care for the environment in a way that improves it for the future. I need to constantly monitor the paddock condition to ensure we do not overgraze, thus impacting the soil quality and creating future problems. Farming is labour intensive and time consuming, and I often have one or more of my 4 children in tow lending a hand. I teach them that we must care for the land as much as we care for the livestock on the farm. By using this process of monitoring and education, I'm striving to protect the soil quality and ensure the long-term viability of the farm in a sustainable and positively impactful way. I look for ways to improve efficiency on the farm, so research is a big part of what happens once it gets too dark or too cold to work outside. I investigate new technology or attend industry events to gain knowledge to improve the long-term value of my farming business. Everything I learn today gets passed on for tomorrow, and improvements I make today will have a greater impact on the future of my children, my farm and the environment. Through my research, I came across the field of agricultural robotics. It is the use of robotic technology and AI-powered systems to perform various farming tasks like planting seeds, weed control, crop monitoring, harvesting, and managing livestock. It uses machine learning, GPS, and computer vision together in a robot to improve productivity, automate labour-intensive tasks, improve farming operations, and promoting sustainable agriculture. SwagBot is one such robot that was designed by Sydney University's Australian Centre for Field Robotics to assist farmers to monitor and manage livestock on the farm. It can determine the type, health and density of pasture and can also monitor the livestock, its health. In support of the UN SDG 15 for life on the land, the information picked up by sensors can be used by the robot to herd cattle to the best pastures or move them before the land is overgrazed and the soil becomes degraded. This data can be fed back to the farmer for future planning purposes. SwagBot is an independent all-wheel drive robot fitted with sensors, and it can keep tabs on cattle and navigate uneven terrain with ease. It can be used to help muster cattle either towards pastures or away from potential hazards. Farmers need to constantly assess the number of livestock their paddocks can support, so overgrazing doesn't occur. Overgrazing can lead to poor soil quality that supports less plant life and animal holding capacity. In the development of SwagBot, the leaders engaged with relevant stakeholders such as farmers, Meat and Livestock Australia, and industry partners to ensure the technology was not developed in isolation of the industry. They looked at the real needs of the farmers around the mustering, pasture, and livestock management and monitoring to make sure the robot was fit for purpose. SwagBot's developers approach supports the UN SDG 9 for industry innovation and infrastructure. Sydney Uni has used AI ethically in the SwagBot technology, as it was not designed to replace farmers but to support them by doing the labour-intensive day-to-day farm tasks, so they have time to strategically plan and ensure the financial viability and sustainability of the farm, supporting the UN SDG 8 for decent work and economic growth. By focusing on the health of the soil, animal welfare and the issues around labour shortages, SwagBot is addressing the long-term challenges in agriculture and sustainability and resilience, creating value for the industry and the environment, supporting the UN SDG 2 for zero hunger and SDG 12 for responsible consumption and production. What I have learned from this case study reinforces my understanding of responsible leadership, of stakeholder management, engagement and collaboration, where the uni engage with farmers and industry partners in the design of SwagBot. Ethics and integrity in innovation is highlighted through the emphasis to support farmers and not replace them by the technology. By supporting farmers and reducing overgrazing, they are reflecting responsible stewardship of environmental resources, and they are creating long-term value for the industry and building trust with the farmers. So there you have it, folks, the future of farming. I hope I've managed to tweak your interest in sustainable farming practices with responsible AI involvement. I've got to get back to my mates. Cheers.